So today we have an interesting idea. Glimmer has put together a GPT that is designed to give me a random challenge, partially because I'm sure Devin just wants to mess with me. And the other reason for that is it showcases that this is really happening on the spot. Here we go. This says, give me a challenge. And we're hitting that. See what it says. 5-item challenge. No archaeologist. Steampunk. Time fracture locale. Unified canvas. 25 minutes. Okay, so we're back in. As I think about this scene, first I probably want the time fracture locale itself, and then trying to get that vibe. So what would a time fracture look like? We're going to look at a portal in time and space in a industrial steampunk courtyard. Stairs and buildings, old, rusted, iron. I'm just really struggling here. Blue, glowing energy. We'll just do glowing energy. We'll see what it comes up with. Concept art, painterly, digital, painting, glazed brush strokes. Old watercolor, and yeah, we'll leave person in the negative because I kind of want to just test this out. Let's see what we get with this prompt. Yeah, I'm curious how time fracture as a locale will be realized. These are good. These are good. Okay, so I've got this like portal thing. And this is kind of like my concept of a time fracture here is a place where like time and space are essentially like opening up into a portal into the past. I'm gonna give myself a couple of options here because that first one was okay, but I really want kind of like maybe a portal's not chaotic rupture in fabric of the universe. This one's got two portals. We don't want two portals. It's kind of like what I was thinking does, like in the middle of some like industrial setting. I may need to get a little bit more control here on this, but you know, looking at it, the reason why this is helpful is to kind of, it's good to understand what that prompt is going to give you without any control at all. Just so you understand like what are the words I'm using just like naturally doing, right? So this is an interesting concept to talk through. I'll burn a minute talking about it. But if you have a description of something and you're not using a control, what you're really finding is that's the like natural place that prompt is going to gravitate towards without any anchors in the image to latch on to. So in this case, you know, we haven't changed our prompt too much. You can see it's very consistently providing this kind of like setting of the stairs and kind of some number of portals. And so general vibes are good, but I really want something a little bit more. I want something a little bit different. So I can do one of two things. I can go to the canvas and do an image to image on kind of something that I sketch out and draw. Or I can take one of these and kind of iterate on it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to kind of like draw a couple more of these like little orbs of energy. And I'm also going to just kind of draw a little bit over this region here because I really just want to kind of focus on that element here. And I'm going to do something like that and just see what we get. I might do 0.75. Kind of just nudging the noise around with some colors here and seeing what we've got. You know, people have said it, most movies have round portals when they're constructed. I think that's right. Okay, so this has got interpreted a little bit more of what I've got here. I do like the way this looks. I like this. This looks a lot more like a fracture rather than like just a constructed portal. It looks very like poorly constrained, which is kind of what I was hoping for. So there's a couple of things off on this that we can kind of like fiddle around with, but I am liking it so far. Liking it so far. So one thing, I like this element in the background. I'm gonna make like this a clock. So a clock tower base. Industrial steampunk aesthetic. Taking out some of these things that may not be super relevant for this one. Just trying to get it to maybe look that like a little bit more like a clock tower type thing. I'm not gonna make that perfect. I'm not gonna go in. I could, you know, go in and fiddle with all the specific Roman numerals, but I'm just gonna kind of like maybe do once or twice and leave it as is. Maybe it's kind of like triggering my OCD to not have that like clock centered though. Okay, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it real quick. And just draw that, and we'll make something like that. And we'll turn that down just a little bit more. Clock is ticking. I know. I'm not used to time limit. I'm not used to time limit. All right, we spent 6 minutes and we've got a clock in this orb of energy. Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're on track. I'm fine, but I won't spend any more time on this clock. I just needed to get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna undo all of my prompt changes here to get back to my portal in time and space. And I'm going to maybe just get this a little cleaner and see what we get with a couple of iterations on this. I'll do maybe 2 or 3. We'll see if this accurately captures my vision for a fracture, a time fracture. Ooh, that one's pretty cool because it kind of looks like it's getting sucked in. Okay, I've got some ideas here. I think I'm going to take this one. But what I kind of want to do is make this even smaller. Focusing on this. I want to looking out into an ancient civilization, large ruins. Maybe there wouldn't be ruins. Large temples and structures surrounded by a chaotic rupture. And then I'm going to take out, just expand this guy down a little bit. That. And just zoom in on this guy here and maybe turn that up to 0.7. So we're kind of really focusing on this one area. And I know time's ticking. I still got to get my chrono-archaeologist going here. We just want to get like a hint of some of these old structures. Now, I did think about going and creating an image and then using that as an IP adapter, but I thought that might be a little bit too much. I'm starting to see that little hint, and there is this kind of like, energy, chaotic energy within this portal. But that is what I wanted there. Look at that beautiful thing. It's like got this like cool distorted look out into the focal point. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I like that. We're going to pull back out here. And just to give myself some more working space, I'm going to just clean up some of this stuff and then reinterpret it, because I just want to kind of like not have all of this stuff everywhere. I need some spring cleaning. Okay. I don't know why stairs would be there, so I'm just going to kind of take those out. Like the stairs up to the portal. Don't need anything else there. And I'm just going to make this like boggy. Okay. So we're going to do this. Put this up a little bit there just so that it blends in nicely with that. And we'll see what we get. We do 0.6 on that. Just kind of trying to kind of like mesh it together and kind of create a little bit of a nicer composition. I don't really want all of this noise up in the middle of this. I just want some space for our chrono time traveler to be standing. So I cleaned that up a little bit. Now I've got a little bit more room on this side. Portal looks okay. If I had more time, I'd probably work on it a little bit more, but we're not going to distract ourselves here. We're going to give ourselves, I think I missed a spot to the spot. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Let's fix that up. Yeah. All right. We got 9 minutes for our time traveler. That's fine. We got this. What do we want our time traveler to be doing? Time traveler is probably like preparing themselves to go in. It's a little bit too. No, I don't like that. Had like a little like too much energy in it. If I now this, I think it's okay to have like a little bit of blue energy there. Now, our chrono archaeologist is going to be standing here. And go ahead and put in some like colors here. Just give it some room to like interpret these as highlights. Just gonna kind of like let this be what it interprets. So I'll turn that up. So we're gonna say a steampunk leather trench coat, steampunk archaeologist, leather trench coat, equipped with a glowing blue energy backpack. Portal in time and space again. Okay, we'll see how it likes it. We'll see how it likes it. Someone said stepping up the stairs. We'll see. I think I more so just didn't have him standing right now, just because I feel like with stepping, the added challenge of getting that just right, with my level of precision and the need for perfection, would be probably devastating. So I think we're got like a decent base here. I'm probably gonna do some coloring and take out some of this stuff, but we'll zoom in here. So I'm gonna like create some highlight areas, flush out the bottom of this backpack, and that side there. Okay, with that blue arm thing, it's kind of neat. Get rid of whatever this is, though. Some of this blue light too. I don't want it to be too distracting here. And then we're going to zoom in on our character. So we've got like a decent shape now. What I'm probably going to do is give myself a composition IP adapter just to give myself an extra bit of control here. This doesn't get too far outside the crazy lines. And I can turn up the denoising strength just a little bit more with that. Although if I turn it up too much, some of the stuff I drew in may get lost. We'll see if we like it. Came up with some good stuff there in the backpack. Cool. I'm gonna evaluate these two here and see if we like them. Let's made this one up. Kind of like this one better, even though I think it may have turned it into a woman from a man, but I think that's probably better anyways. And then we'll just go in and edit some stuff. Sounds good. All right, let's do it. Go here. This. Get my lines back on the sides here. And I'm probably just going to do a little bit of a low denoising here. That IP adapter anymore. The low denoising strength just allows me to like make sure that the stuff I just drew in kind of sticks around. It's just going to kind of clean up some of the details around that. Face looks a little bit off. Head. Turn that up a little bit more. Give it some freedom to fix up some of those details. Head seems a little bit off still. It's like if you look this far away, head's way too small. I'm gonna make that bigger. So we're gonna fix some of these details. Maybe we'll make the ugliest nose in the world here. I'm gonna have to turn up that denoising strength, you know what I'm saying? Okay. We will pull that up. Interpret that. And we're back to being a guy. We'll see. If I wasn't so short on time, I'd probably have more of an opinion here. His head's getting really, really funny. Well, we'll handle that. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to erase that part. So this is something I don't do very often. I'm erasing it, which means when you erase it, it treats it similar to outpainting, which is going to infill that spot with colors from around that region, auto mask the erased spot, and then fill it in. So we'll see how that works. See if erasing it is going to do better for us. Could do worse. I think it does okay. And I'm okay with that. That looks still a little bit small, but he's like, you know, we'll say he's a tall gentleman, tall archaeologist. So we've got this fella in this scene. I've got like 2 minutes for any details that I want to fix up. Does anyone see anything that they think should be fixed? Or is it perfect? I mean, there's definitely some things I'd fix. I have 7 minutes. Oh, that's right. Okay, I was treating this a little bit like too much of a challenge. Okay, cool. So we now need to finish up some of these details now that I've gotten the all clear to work on this for 6 more minutes. Yeah, base of the portal, someone called out, is lining up a little bit odd, and I think that is true. So we're gonna kind of take this staircase maybe the bottom of this, and see if we can get these two like line up a little bit better. We may want to zoom back down into the region that we care about. And do that IP adapter trick again. Composition. Just to help it recognize the kind of layout of this particular image. Man here, stairs going up to so it took out the railings. It's gonna be it's not. It did create some pretty cool kind of like looking ancient civilization steps though. It's pretty neat. Much nicer stairs. Yeah, I agree with that. And it looks kind of kind of cool. Maybe though, what we want to do is get the outer region of this some work. It might help align it a little bit better. Take that latest one as the composition. Just want to see what we get if we rework that outer loop once or twice. Maybe we'll do it 3 times. We'll see what we get. We'll keep that core work that we did on the inner portal itself, kind of looking out into that ancient civilization. See if we can get the portal itself to look a little cooler. That looks pretty cool. It's kind of interesting looking. No, it's not bad either. Got a nice ring around it. There's definitely some like weird alignment that we need to finish if we choose that one up for the final piece. One's cool too. I think that one's like the coolest looking one of them all for sure. Question is, do I like the way this looks? Distance, it's kind of a little weird. We're gonna take this side here. I'm gonna take some of this area out, and let this side over here expand it. We don't want our archaeologist to be touched. We did too much work for that guy to be taken away. Just going to see if we can get this going to be situated a little bit more in the platform itself. It kind of looks like it's dangling out there on its own. You know, that looks a little bit better. Actually, yeah, if we're going to do this, which I do like, I think this like lantern thing needs to go. Okay, somebody asked me if I could explain what the composition only IP adapter is doing, and I certainly can do that. So what? So let's take about we got 2 minutes, or how about this? I'll finish it out and then I'll explain the composition only. Okay. So we're just gonna finish this lantern thing and we'll be good to go. So I mentioned earlier on that we were kind of like evaluating where our prompt was going with no control. That is helpful in understanding what its like default state is. If we were to amp the denoising strength up really high, we're basically saying ignore this image and gravitate towards something more like your original image, right? And so with composition only, you can bring that denoising strength up, but tell it, the scene looks kind of something like this. This person's here, this big thing's here, there's a big clock up there. And that way it's kind of situating your prompt in the place that you're currently working, right? It's kind of giving it a little bit of structure. It's giving it more than just the initial image, because when you turn the denoising strength up, you're ignoring more and more of that initial image, and so you lose a little bit of the structure that would provide. What the composition only IP adapter is doing is giving you that structure in a different way. Rather than using the initial image, you're kind of injecting that structure using the image prompt. And that's what's kind of providing it a little bit more of an anchor, if you will, into the scene that we're currently working on, which means I can, turn up the denoising strength and have a little bit less concern that we're going to get, a wildly different one. So if I didn't have this and I turned us up to like, let's say 0.85, I'm just going to like do this and then throw it away because I don't think it'll fix anything. And I think it'll make it worse. But I'll show you what happens. We obviously lose a lot of what we had. It's not too bad, even though we're up at 0.85. But I suspect it's going to look a little bit different. No, it's still pretty cool. But yeah, I think the composition only just kind of like, you see we lost this like portal into a different world. We lost a little bit of the kind of like relationship of this thing. Now it's just a massive structure. The composition only is looking at all of these things that it can find in the image and how they're positionally related and trying to kind of like recreate that. Just to see. We'll go a little bit over on this one and see what happens when we do composition only with the exact same. So we'll do this. How about this? We'll turn our seed into a fixed seed, and we'll do it with and without that composition only. We're going to put my theories to the test. So this is with. We have a very high denoising strength. I actually think I might like this one pretty well. We'll see. We have a very high denoising strength. It's going into this like portal to another dimension. That's pretty cool. I actually like that. Without the composition only, we still get the kind of like big portal structure looking thing. We haven't lost that completely, but I anticipate less of this kind of like portal. Yeah. So we've got this like general space portal without the IP adapter. But with the IP adapter, or that's the old image, with the IP adapter, it kind of sees that there's this place further in the portal that's kind of hinted at. And so that's actually coming through in the generation. And so those are the kinds of things that like the structure only or the composition only IP adapter can really help with, is like making sure that certain things stay where they're supposed to be. Look at that though. Which one do we like better? We like this one that has kind of this like tilted, distorted view, or do we like this one? I think this one looks pretty cool. I know that we're like 2 minutes over now, but I think this one's nice. Probably do some more work here, but I think this is kind of like, honestly, I think this looks cooler. So I'm gonna keep with it. Both are cool, yes, I know, but I like this one better. So now we'll save that one out. Now we've got our portal to a different dimension. I'm sure there's still some things we could figure out, but let's see how much we feel like this maps. So we had a chrono archaeologist, steampunk, time fracture locale. I think we did it. Okay. So do we want to do another one? Is that the challenge? Do we do another one? One more. Okay, one more. All right, we'll hit regenerate. See if it gives us something new. It's gonna give us something new. I hope it gives us something like useful. Although I may have to like shove it. Here we go. Astral Librarian High Fantasy Cosmic Library. Okay. High Fantasy Astral Librarian with ControlNet Soft Edge has to be used. Okay, I got some ideas. Let's dive into this. We got how many? 20. We got another 25 minutes, so that'll round us out. This will be the last one. Astral Librarian, Cosmic Library, High Fantasy. Okay, I gotta think about this. All right, I'm just gonna save the style so that I don't have to fight through that one again. Um, we're going to do a, got some ideas here. I got some ideas. Do a vast library. Vaulted ceilings. Distant shelves of books. Let's see what we got here. Put chiaroscuro. Give some depth of this. Take out our IP adapter, turn our random seed back on, generate. So we're going, I'm kind of looking for a little bit of a look here. I think this will work. Okay. Yeah, this will work fine. Okay. I'm going to take the control net, and then I'm going to switch to the soft edge. And sometimes I get asked questions about the names of this. This is not a like super secret special control net or anything like that. It's the standard SDXL soft edge. I think Sarge Sarge DT, rest in peace, his control net, still doing work to this day. And we'll do our pity. Should be able to see this come out relatively well. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to save that control image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to the canvas, and I'm going to remove the ceiling. To go into the sky and the stars, this ceiling. We have dim the top row of books here. And then maybe do like a little planet or moon, see what comes up with. I like creating this like little fake moon up here. Yeah, we like that. Okay. So now we've got a new control net image that I've kind of just like map bashed together. I'm going to use that with the none processor because it's already processed. And we're going to see a vast library. Cosmic, distant, stars above, shelves of books, let's say illuminated scene and stars, nebulas, galaxies. Like that. We'll go with that. See what we get with that. I turn this down just a little bit, give it some flexibility there towards the end. So we'll do one with it at full strength and one with a little bit lower strength. Let's see if we can get this to look the way we want it to. It's like a blood moon, Legend of Zelda. With it up all the way. You know, it looks pretty cool. The coloring's a little bit off, but overall it looks pretty cool. This is definitely picking up a lot of that like galaxy coloring. a little bit too much. A little bit too much, I'd say. This one's probably more of what I was going for. So we will take this, and then I'm gonna pull this in and just do another soft edge because it's kind of already found a little bit of what I'm looking for here. And so the control net, again, is kind of helping us structure the output. We're kind of pulling that in. And even now that we've already got an image, we've already got the start, we can kind of use it to guide that generation a second time. And at this point, I can decide whether I like these colors or not. I can add in some more if I want to. So I'll kind of like come in and just tune that down a little bit. Maybe get some of the whites and amp up the moon. And then we'll do our mask and bring that in. Regenerate this. Probably do something like 0.73. That way we're getting a little bit more control over the scene. And so just kind of walking back through what we did, we pulled the structure, the core structure of the library out, kept what we wanted from the control net by masking out the areas that we didn't like using the kind of the brush tool. And then we regenerated the scene, which, we've got a cool feature coming out. If anyone has alpha tested it, the alpha test is going very, very well. A lot of people are finding it pretty cool, but you'll be able to regionally control the areas just like, this kind of sky, which will really help with a lot of the, I would say, more complicated scenery that you might come up with. And especially, I think, in the past, one of the biggest challenges people have is when they're doing creative work. If they pass in a sketch that's too complicated for the model to really understand what's going on, you've got like a lot of lines, a lot of detail, that regional control will give you a lot more of an ability to articulate exactly where things are in that scene. I actually really like that. I think we're gonna have to fix this planet, but otherwise it's like a pretty cool scene. So we're just gonna focus in on that. Turn off our control net. Take this scene right there and we'll focus on cosmic distant stars. And we'll turn our denoising down a bit. I think I was tuning my LoRa weights earlier instead of my denoising strength. And this will help us get a little bit more of that detail on the planet, so it looks a little bit more natural. And then we'll pull back out and focus on our astral. Let's do this a little bit more on this planet, maybe at a higher denoising strength. And that'll mesh in pretty well. Could even say what we want here because it's kind of interpreting this as like an orb of some sort. We'll do a blue ice planet. That way it knows what we're going for with that. Right now it's just kind of interpreting that as like an orb in space, but if we give it something to anchor onto with that blue ice planet prompt, it'll nudge that a little bit closer to what we're going for. Get that planet there. All right, so let's see, time check. We got 17 minutes. We're doing pretty good. We may want to do some work on the scene, but I think we've got it mostly covered. We've got this like astral ceiling. It is out there. Let's take a look and see if we've got maybe we're good here. So what I'm going to do, just to have this be, for some fun, we'll pull back, we'll do a callback to one of the older sessions and pull one of these characters out to be our astral librarian. How about that? Maybe our Fabio looking guy from last time, our space Fabio, and we'll use this guy. So we use our control net. Welcome back, Fabio. We like Fabio. So we'll pull him back. We like that. Yeah, we'll like that. We like that. We'll take it. I'm going to save that out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this scene. I'm going to work on Fabio guy. Let's move these back to the right board. So now I've got this scene. We can come back to that, but I'm going to work on Fabio for a little bit here. I'm going to clean up his background. We're going to take that out. I'm mostly using this for kind of like a structural control to throw that in. Would I normally do this? Maybe not, because I think probably what I would do normally is just in paint, but I'm trying to use the control net soft edge challenge to its like nth degree, really living my best life following the rules. So I'm giving him like a little bit of like a tunic looking thing here. Up a little bit. And look at that, we got like our Fabio guy. Now the question is, do we think that he needs to sit there in the picture or not? I anticipate that we probably don't want him right in the middle of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this out. I'm just going to fill this part with black. I'm kind of like changing the composition of this control net, right? So I've got, it's going to be more on like the bottom right of the image now. I've expanded that out. And then I can save this. And I'm going to pull this guy back in. Switch that back to none. Now I've got a new control net, right? So I've got a new image that I can use to control this. He's composed a little bit more on the bottom right. And I can pull in our Fabio into our image a little bit more cleanly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back this. That's not what to do. Back here. We've got our new Fabio in as our control image. And now we are going to, what am I going to do? Maybe I'll just do that erasing thing again. Erase the bottom image, bottom part of the image, and see if it can kind of like in paint our astral librarian in a long-haired male astral. I'm going to use male astral librarian because that's a little bit on the nose. We'll say like astral priest in robes, standing in front of a library with a cosmic sky. Let me try that out. Okay, so we got this empty spot in the bottom right. We've got our control net giving us control, and we'll see what we get. How about that? Checking all this stuff here. All right, here we go. Now, I may need to inpaint on some of the sides once this gets filled in. See how this interprets it, because I think, and this is something that we'll be solving in the near future as well, but I can't really see the control net here. It will be something that we want to do is probably, depending on how much of the edge gets covered, so we might need to erase some of this piece and redo some of the head. But the body's coming in good. That's good. Welcome back, partial Fabio. And then we'll, okay. So we're going to do this. Going back to the base, I'm erasing this part here. I want to let it pull some colors in. I do like what happened over here on this shoulder. It's like very cosmic. So we like that a lot. We will also just mask his face so it gives kind of a consistent, I've mentioned this before, but thinking about it in puzzle pieces is really helpful. If we're going to regenerate the top half of the head, it's probably good to go ahead and regenerate the bottom half. You don't want those puzzle pieces not matching up. And then we will regenerate that. So it's going to fill in this area with colors from the image using whatever infill method we have selected. And I'm having it regenerate the bottom half at the same time. And that's giving it kind of the freedom to go in and reconnect those to match our control nets. And there may still be a little bit of inpainting to do, but I think overall it's going to look like that. We need to brighten up the face a little bit, though. It's a little bit too dark. Skiro is probably giving us that. So let's say, let's do a little bit of brightening here, just with some blue coloring. They won't make his skin blue. And try to get it to pick up some of the details with some brighter coloring, and then it'll probably throw in some blue highlights in that as well. We have a relatively high denoising strength, again, because we can. The control net's giving all the structure that we're looking for. Might be well within our time limit for sure. Okay, like that. Do some detailing on the face by zooming in. So I'm going to throw away our Fabio control nut now. I'm going to zoom in on just our new area. It's got a little bit of the squirrely eye. Fix that up. So we will. Didn't pick up everything, so I'm going to switch back to a canny and turn the threshold down and see if we can pick up some of those details of the face. That's more of what I'm looking for there. We will want to switch to the canny control though. Make sure it picks up all the details we're looking for. I'm mostly looking for control around the eyes. So this one's picked up the arches of the eyes and the eyes themselves, which is what we want to keep. And I think everything else looks pretty good. I just really want to get those eyes looking better. So we brought the scale down. We're looking at just the face. We're regenerating just that region. And that will help us get a lot more of a clear picture without some of the artifacts that happen at a distance. It should blend that in pretty well. All right, from this to that, and we're happy with that. Much better. Okay, we've got this like astral librarian. He's in a library with this kind of like sky. I really do like this shoulder pad. I'm wondering if it might be dangerous to play around with this, but see if we can kind of like touch up some of the details on that. I'm probably gonna have to use it relatively low. Let's go back to our soft edge. It's the wrong one. Soft edge. Do our pity. Hopefully it'll pick up some of this kind of like softer, cloudy looking stuff there. Kind of did. We'll take this and we're going to do this at a low denoising strength or lower denoising strength. And we'll lose that like cosmic-y look. I may decide to throw this one away. It's maybe one that I throw away. We'll see. No, I actually like that better. It's cool. I'm gonna take away this blue planet though. It's snuck in from the sky. Actually, that's gonna well, came in on the soft edge, so it picked up that circle. We'll see what it thinks it needs to add there. It's like just a dark circle, which is fine. And we can keep that. All right, we like this. We got 7 minutes. If we see anything that needs to be fixed, I guess we could probably fill this guy's chest, but I think we're going to be opening up the floor for questions here sooner rather than later, because not to toot my own horn, but I think we're going to say this challenge was nailed pretty quickly. And with such an innovative control, using that soft edge. Gale of Water deep look in. Yeah, we've got Gale here. It's actually my choice of character to run through. Get that kind of look there. Fiddle with this, get shape kind of perfectly matching on that side. We might have to turn off our control nut here. Get 2 generations to see if that gives us what we need. So that first one's with the control nut, this one's with the control nut off. 5 denoising strength. I think this one I'll like that one better. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we got 5 minutes left. I'm going to call that challenge completed. Let's just review it one more time and see if I missed anything. Astral Librarian, High Fantasy, Cosmic Library, Control Net, Soft Edge. Did that twice, so definitely did that. Vast Mystical Shells of the Cosmic Library, check. Control Net, check. Soft Intricate Details of the Environment. If I do so myself, check. I'll give myself a trophy there. I think this is nailed. We did this. Okay, cool. So open floor for questions. We got 4 minutes for questions if you guys have any. If you don't have any, we'll just call out that the challenge bot that we have here is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Glimmer, this is open. Everyone can use this if they want. They can use ChatGPT. I do think you have to have like a pro account to use it. I also think it'd probably be interesting with Llama 3 out, and I think the community's built some interesting nodes. There's the Nightmare prompt node, which is really just a general purpose prompting node for pulling out a prompt from a model. You could probably give yourself a local invoke challenge as well, and then you don't have to use ChatGPT. I think the prompt for it is relatively simple. You can use the image that we gave as an example and then just tell it to give you something like that. And that's a fun way to give yourself a challenge and play around with the tools. Cool. Well, I don't see any questions coming in on this one. Probably pretty self-explanatory. I think we've done enough on ControlNet. So we'll just call it here and see you guys at the next one. And on the recording, for people who are watching this after the fact, I think most people do watch this after the fact, you'll see it in the description. You'll see the link to the ChatGPT as well as just the general challenge information. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good weekend.